Before humans feared the deep ocean, something far older ruled it. It was longer than a bus, and powerful enough to hunt other whales. Scientists called it Basilosaurus, the king lizard. But Basilosaurus was not a dinosaur. It was something far stranger. A whale with the body of a sea serpent, and the instincts of an apex predator. Hidden near its tail were tiny legs from a forgotten past. And inside its stomach, paleontologists found the remains of other whales. This was not the gentle ancestor of modern whales. This was the nightmare that once ruled the ancient seas. In the early 1800s, strange bones began appearing across the American South. Farmers uncovered enormous vertebrae buried beneath ancient sediments near Alabama and Louisiana. Some of the bones were so large, people used them as furniture around their homes. No one truly understood what they had discovered. At first glance, the creature appeared monstrous. Its spine stretched across the ground like the remains of a gigantic sea serpent. When American anatomist Richard Harlan examined the fossils in 1834, he believed they belonged to an enormous prehistoric reptile. Something older, larger, and more terrifying than any living crocodile. He named the creature Basilosaurus, meaning king lizard. And for a brief moment in history, science believed a giant sea dragon had once ruled the oceans. But the mystery was only beginning. When more complete fossils reached England, paleontologist Richard Owen noticed something impossible. The teeth were unlike those of reptiles. They had double roots, a feature only seen in mammals. Basilosaurus was not a marine reptile at all. It was a whale. An ancient whale from a lost world. Unlike anything alive today. The discovery shocked scientists across the 19th century. A creature with the body of a serpent, but the anatomy of a mammal. A predator caught between two worlds of evolution. Even after the mistake was discovered, the original name remained. Because in science, once a name is given, it can rarely be erased. And so the ancient predator kept its legendary title forever. Basilosaurus. The king lizard that was never a lizard at all. More than 40 million years ago, Earth's oceans were ruled by creatures unlike anything alive today. Among them was Basilosaurus, one of the largest predators of the Eocene seas. It could grow up to 20 meters long, longer than most modern killer whales, and weighing nearly 15 tons. Basilosaurus dominated the warm shallow oceans of its world. But what truly made this animal terrifying was not just its size. It was the way it moved. Unlike modern whales, Basilosaurus did not have the compact, streamlined body of a fast ocean swimmer. Its body was incredibly long and flexible, almost like a gigantic eel. Its spine contained dozens of elongated vertebrae that allowed the body to undulate through the water. Scientists believe Basilosaurus swam with a serpent-like motion, twisting through ancient seas with slow, powerful waves of its body. It was a whale unlike any whale alive today. And hidden beneath that massive body, evolution had left behind a disturbing secret. Near the tail were tiny hind limbs. Small, useless legs measuring only a few centimeters long. The final remnants of a distant ancestor that once walked on land millions of years earlier. These legs were far too small for walking, and completely disconnected from the spine. But they were real. proof that whales did not begin as creatures of the sea. Basilosaurus existed during one of evolution's strangest transitions. A time when mammals were abandoning the land and transforming into rulers of the ocean. Its skull was equally bizarre. Unlike modern whales, Basilosaurus possessed different types of teeth. Sharp canines for gripping prey, and large molars capable of tearing flesh apart. It did not swallow prey whole like many modern whales. It chewed. And with every feature of its anatomy, Basilosaurus revealed a terrifying truth about whale evolution. The ancestors of modern whales were once predators built for violence. The world of Basilosaurus was nothing like the oceans we know today. 40 million years ago, much of Earth was warmer, wetter, and far more dangerous. Shallow tropical seas covered vast regions of the planet. Dense seagrass fields stretched across the ocean floor beneath dark green waters. And everywhere, predators waited. Primitive sharks patrolled the coastlines. Strange marine reptiles had vanished long before. But new monsters were taking their place. The age of ancient whales had begun. Among the most common was Dorodon, a smaller dolphin-like whale that shared the seas with Basilosaurus. But in these waters, size meant survival. And nothing hunted with more authority than Basilosaurus. It cruised slowly through the shallow seas like a living sea serpent. Its enormous body moved with silent power beneath the waves. Most animals would never see the attack coming, because Basilosaurus was perfectly adapted for ambush hunting. The murky Eocene waters gave predators endless places to hide. And once Basilosaurus locked onto a target, escape became almost impossible. Large fish disappeared into its jaws. Sharks became prey. Even smaller whales were not safe. Every part of this ecosystem was violent. Every movement in the water carried danger. This was not a peaceful prehistoric paradise. It was an evolutionary battlefield. A world where ancient mammals were transforming into ocean predators for the very first time. And at the top of that nightmare food chain was Basilosaurus, one of the earliest whales to truly dominate the sea. For decades, scientists wondered what Basilosaurus truly hunted. Then came a discovery that changed everything. Deep within the fossilized stomach contents of Basilosaurus, researchers found the remains of other whales. Not ancient fish. Not scavenged carcasses. Whales. Among the remains were juvenile Dorodon, smaller relatives that once shared the same seas. Some of their skulls carried deep bite marks that matched the teeth of Basilosaurus perfectly. The evidence was horrifyingly clear. Basilosaurus hunted whales. And it may have specifically targeted the young. Like modern killer whales, it likely attacked vulnerable calves in shallow nursery waters. A fully grown Basilosaurus possessed enormous jaws lined with sharp teeth designed for gripping and tearing flesh apart. Its bite force may have exceeded 20,000 newtons. Powerful enough to crush bone. Scientists believe Basilosaurus attacked with sudden ambushes from beneath the water. One violent strike could shatter a young whale's skull instantly. The victim would have little chance to escape. And once the attack began, Basilosaurus would tear the body apart piece by piece. This was not a gentle giant of the ancient oceans. It was one of the earliest whale superpredators ever to exist. A nightmare born during the violent evolution of whales. Despite its terrifying power, Basilosaurus was not built for the future. It was a creature trapped between two stages of evolution. Part ancient land mammal. Part fully aquatic whale. Its long serpent-like body made it a dangerous ambush predator near the surface. But that same body also carried serious limitations. Unlike modern whales, Basilosaurus was not an efficient long-distance swimmer. Its movements were slower, more primitive, and likely exhausting over time. Scientists believe it lacked the powerful tail-driven speed of modern cetaceans. And deep diving may have been difficult for such a massive elongated animal. Its bones were unusually dense and heavy. Its body moved more like an eel than a true whale. Even its brain was smaller compared to modern whales. There is no evidence that Basilosaurus possessed advanced echolocation abilities like today's toothed whales. It lived in a world where whale evolution was still incomplete. But evolution never stops moving forward. As millions of years passed, the oceans continued to change. New whale species became faster, smarter, more specialized for deep open water hunting. And slowly, the ancient design of Basilosaurus began to fall behind. What once made it powerful eventually became a weakness. It was one of evolution's greatest experiments. But not every experiment is meant to survive forever. For millions of years, Basilosaurus ruled the ancient seas. It survived as one of the most feared predators of the Eocene world. But even apex predators cannot escape a changing planet. Around 34 million years ago, Earth began to transform. Global temperatures started to fall. The warm tropical oceans of the Eocene slowly disappeared. Ocean currents shifted across the planet. Entire marine ecosystems began to collapse and reorganize. Many ancient species could not adapt fast enough. And Basilosaurus was one of them. As the climate cooled, prey became harder to find. The shallow coastal seas it once dominated were changing into unfamiliar environments. New marine animals were evolving to survive in deeper and colder waters. But Basilosaurus belonged to an older world. A world that was vanishing, one by one. The ancient Archaeocete whales disappeared from the oceans forever. And with them, vanished the reign of Basilosaurus. It left behind no descendants. No direct bloodline survived into the modern age. Its dynasty ended in silence beneath the sea. But its extinction opened the door for something new. After the fall of Basilosaurus, modern whales began to rise. Faster whales. Smarter whales. Whales that would eventually conquer every ocean on Earth. Today, the oceans are still ruled by whales. But none resemble the terrifying creature that once hunted through the ancient Eocene seas. Basilosaurus was not simply a giant predator. It was a glimpse into one of evolution's strangest experiments. A whale with remnants of legs, the body of a sea serpent, and the instincts of a super predator. For millions of years, it dominated a world that no longer exists. Then the oceans changed, and the king lizard vanished into prehistory. But its fossils remain buried beneath deserts and coastlines across the world. Silent evidence of an age when whales were monsters. Long before gentle giants crossed the oceans, their ancestors ruled with teeth.